This podcast may contain adult themes.
This podcast is for entertainment purposes only.
The views and opinions in this podcast are expressly our own.
Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way.
Is it okay if I kick your boss's ass? That won't affect your workplace chemistry, will it?
All right, who did this? I'm not mad. I just want to know who did it so I can punish them.
When I get to the workplace, I like to fuck shit up.
Welcome to Let's Break Up, Toxic Workplace Stories, hosted by me, Nicola.
And me, Gina, both with many years working in corporate roles. Come along as we interview some awesome guests from around the world about their experiences with toxic workplaces.
Sharing lessons learned and providing safe, supportive place to share their stories with those who might be experiencing similar situations.
Each week, we will provide tips and ways to identify some of the challenges associated with toxic workplaces.
In today's episode,
let's do it.
Can you believe that it's our last episode of the season?
No, I really can't.
Does that blow your mind?
Yeah, and anyway.
I tell people that I know not to listen because I don't need them hearing my annoying voice outside of me actually talking to them.
Yeah, I know. I get that. But I was just kind of like, you should at least, he's like, how's that going? I'm like, I don't know. You should probably listen. I was annoyed. It's like, you should probably just listen. Don't ask me how it is, dumbass. But
we got a question though. We got a legitimate question, which I'm gonna save for the end.
Okay.
What are some of the things that you think we have learned about podcasting in this season?
All right. So first of all, I just want to say that I can't believe this is that my little tiny idea with all of your extra help and work has kind of turned into something that we never we were remember in the beginning we were like, I wonder if 3 people will listen the first time outside of the people we actually told, our friends.
We were excited when 3 people listened.
We were like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then of course somehow the word got out and it just kind of got of course we're not superstars in this space yet or anything, but it's gotten so much more attention from people than I ever thought it would.
Oh, for
ever.
Sure. Oh, for sure.
And so that I'm super grateful for. I think it's so cool. And I hope that we are helping people. I think we are, but hopefully more than we know.
It seems as though everybody we've spoken to at some point says 2 things to us. They say, oh my God, it was so fun talking to you. A. And
obviously.
And B, the other thing they say is this is a really important topic and no one really talks about.
That's actually true. So I think that you hit the nail on the head. Which to me, I was kind of why don't people talk about this? But the more that we've heard people's stories, it's it becomes clear. And I didn't even talk about it until after the fact. So I guess I just never really thought that through, because there's job security issues, there's psychological issues, there's so many additional things that are on someone's plate that, yeah, it does make sense. And also I've learned so much, so much, all of these different ways that people cope, different ideas, what works, what doesn't, I've learned a lot.
Leadership strategies, growth mindset, we've kind of hit all of the arcs.
And I think that we also I also learned I learned a lot about myself with trying to be really honest with our experience, how I had a part to play, how we all have a part to play in our own stories. It's not just victim mode. But then I've learned a lot about other people and how they look at stuff, and it's just been really eye-opening.
It has been really eye-opening. I think our conversations with the experts has been really interesting because they've all got a different opinion on it, but it's all the same topic.
It is. And I think most of them are just so I think it's empathy that a lot of these people are a lot of the people who are who kind of foster a toxic workplace. I think it's empathy that a lot of them are missing.
That's true. I can see
Yeah.
that.
And also just like the micromanagement, I think, is also
A big one.
probably a big one. And I know you and I have mentioned that over various points in our, in our little chats in the beginning or whatever. So yeah. And it's also like made me so chuckle, like how much like our ex place of employment, like I feel like they listen to us, and I think that they've reacted because of some of the things we said. And that might be a little bit egotistical of us. But I mean, if you've listened to season 1, you know that they've like done some really weird things in response to just little old us.
Yeah. But I noticed though recently they're coming up with some really nice looking things. So hopefully they've taken on the feedback and they're on an upswing.
I mean, I never really paid attention to them because I never knew who they were until I started working there. So they're not really like part of my life, but good. I mean, the idea is okay overall. I think they should come clean about the whole premise of the idea behind it, but whatever. And yeah, I mean, good for them if they're getting their shit together.
I can only but hope. What do you think you learned about each other?
I've learned that you're super organized. I've learned I am not super organized. Like I'm organized in my mind, but when it comes to it, like I know what I have to do. Like my mind's like a great little filing cabinet, but I'm not good at like I just do it. I don't, you know what I mean? Like I just do what I need to do. But yeah, I've learned that you're super organized. And without you, I'd be like a bumbling like idiot on this podcast. I'd be like, I don't even know who we're listening, who we have today. Who are you? Tell me about yourself. Like I would, yes, I've learned a lot about you personally. I know some people had feedback like they don't know who you are as like the podcast host, but I feel like I got a lot closer to you. I've learned more about you personally and like some of the things that you've been through and stuff like that. Yeah. What did you learn?
Yeah, that I'm definitely the type A in this situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's this that we're talking to today? This person. Okay.
Like 2 minutes before every podcast. But like it's like then I'm like, oh wait, I knew I read that, but like I don't know. Yeah. You're way more organized.
But also I think one of the things that's really stood out to me this season is that you've been really vulnerable about like a lot of your stories, and that a lot of your the stuff that you've shared has been really vulnerable. And I think that's something really cool that I've learned about you, is your vulnerability. For sure.
I know, because I think like when we worked together, you probably just didn't realize like I think I kind of come in with this like bravado almost, like I'm here to get work done. I'm getting this shit done. And I do, but I think that is almost like does a disservice to myself because there is that other side of me.
Yeah. What do you think you've learned about yourself?
That I'm not organized. I used to think I was, but I'm not. I have like as my mom would say, I have my own brand of organization, because she's like, that's your own brand of logic, like your own brand of organization. And I'm like, all right, fair enough. It is. Yeah, I think that, and I think that I learned a lot more about how to be a better leader too. Like I just think that there are some other solutions out there that I didn't know about. Nobody's perfect, so always good to know different ways of doing things. What did you learn?
I have got such an annoying voice.
Oh my God, no, you don't. Whenever I listen to our podcast, I'm like, Nicola's voice is so cute because like the little accent and everything. So I can hear you. I'm just myself. No, that's lies are being told.
Okay, definitely that I'm annoying. No, but I think one of the things that I've kind of noticed is a lot of the leadership qualities that we've been told about or taught are ones that I naturally use with my team. And I'm like, okay, maybe I don't suck altogether. Yeah, got some toxic traits. Sure.
We're all human.
we're all human, but I think it made me feel really confident in my own management and leadership style, because I was like, I don't micromanage. I try to elevate everybody. I hope for the best for everybody, so that kind of it kind of reaffirmed my own kind of style, I guess. Yeah, I think that was probably the key one, is it kind of just made me feel confident, a little bit more confident, because we've all got imposter syndrome, but it made me feel a little bit more confident about the fact that, okay, I'm making the right decisions as a manager.
Yeah. No, I can see that. Yeah.
All right, what are some of the things we've learned from interviewing people?
That that every single job you could ever have ever has the potential to be a toxic workplace. It doesn't matter
If it's your dream job,
it does not fucking matter. Whatever industry, nothing, just no one's exempt. It's a good equalizer, right?
I think the one thing we've learned from interviewing people is you have got to vet people.
Oh yeah, we fucked that one up in the very beginning. Oh my God. Yeah, that. Some people just like to waste our time.
Yeah. I feel like maybe we should add a little clip from one of the episodes that didn't make it in.
I mean, you and I had a good laugh about it.
I'm still mind blown about it.
So should we tell how this happened?
Yes.
So this was before we were like, I think it was after this particular thing that happened.
Oh, for sure. This was the line in the sand.
Yes, because we had been really, really lucky up until that thing that we would just like book people in to start the podcast, like no pre-chat, no vetting, nothing. And we had some really great people already on, even people that were not associated with us prior. Like the first couple were like our friends. But we did have a few experts in there that just booked with us, and we just went with it. We were like, cool, let's just show up and see what happens.
Yeah.
So then we booked with someone, and what did they say they were an expert in? It was like workplace, something about being disabled in the workplace.
Discrimination.
Yeah. Disability discrimination, which is actually a fantastic, right? Awesome.
I was so excited.
I would love to hear more about that, because, that's like a subject that I don't know much about. However, what happened during the actual call?
I didn't realize that having your period was in fact a disability.
Me either. And I would like to go back and get all of my disability money from wherever I can get it. Since I've been like 12 or 13.
I will play the clip.
Yeah, play the clip. But so
The
essentially
short version.
Yes. Yeah, not me being like, we gotta wrap this up.
I would be really curious to know if maybe we're in the wrong, and in fact, this is a valid point.
So tell us a little bit about some of the toxic workplaces that you have come across. What are some of the things that have happened, or some of the really bizarro world things that have happened with you and the work that you've done?
Oh, I have heard women talk about how they weren't allowed to go to the bathroom during their periods. And sometimes women can be the worst. And I've known women who have said, I have had blood dripping down my leg while I was working.
Wait, what? Okay, why couldn't they go to the bathroom, firstly?
Because they were either booked up so much that there was no time for it.
Who's booking them up? Are they booking themselves up, or
they could work in a salon?
Okay.
It could be a fast food place. Other situations are, I've been told I need to be careful talking about the bathroom, but the bathroom is a big thing because we all use the bathroom. Some workplaces are set up like school teachers. They don't get to go to the bathroom. And so because they're watching their kids, and I've talked to school teachers that are like, when do I get to go to the bathroom? I may have to go to the bathroom. I may have my period and I can't leave the classroom because what am I supposed to say? Hey, Johnny, you're in second grade. Will you take over while I go change my tampon?
There's usually co-teachers. I mean, I don't think it's very, I think that might be a little antiquated. That there's usually, in most public, charter, private, there's usually co-teachers. I would be interested to know what other people think. However, anyone we've mentioned it to was like, wait, what? Like there was like a definite like screeching pause. Like,
Yeah, like
yeah. And there was some other like some weird mentions of other like really big topics that
we were like, no.
I was like, I'm not getting into this. I don't know enough about it. This is not something that you and I want to even potentially start getting into. So yeah, I'd be curious. That's a good one. I'd be curious to know what people think.
Yeah, I'd agree. Okay, okay, granted that was bizarre and never even made it to air. What has been your favorite episode to date?
That's so hard because I liked something about every single thing, like every single one. Whether it was like some weird way you made me laugh or like really enjoyed the person and what they had to say. So I think Dr. Jody, like she and I were like on some weird ass wavelength that day. Yeah, it was so weird. You
literally got a free counseling session.
From like this amazing, which I didn't want. Like I didn't go into it thinking that was going to happen. I was like trying to keep my shit together. I was just so emotional that day. No, I don't know why. I think something happened.
That was just statistically, that was our most popular podcast of all time.
That's crazy. That is fucking crazy. But yeah, I mean, it just, everything aligned that day. Like I was in a very strange mood. I was very upset, emotional, whatever. I think I was overtired and it just kind of like, and she just started talking about shit that like was exactly what I was feeling, like with no precursor. I had never spoke to her before. And I think that was the one that you vetted on your own because you forgot to send me. Like it was just like some weird shit was going on with that. So I think like in a good way, like that one I think was probably personally my favorite. But I think like professionally, I think Dr. Danielle Lord and Joanna.
Oh yeah, I feel like Joanna was our first like famous person, right?
And she was just like so cool and so nice, and like we all vibed so well together. Like it was just a fun time. Like she was like so proper, but then she really wasn't. Like I don't know. I think, and I liked Dr. Danielle because she really like brought her shit, and it was like she knew so much, right? Like
she was cool. I liked it.
Okay, what were your favorites?
I personally still to this day laugh like by myself about fucking Kardsi's episode where she fucking squashed the grapes with her feet.
Oh my God. Yeah.
To this day, I still like just will laugh because I'm like, oh my God, like you can't understand.
All of her episodes were so good. And there was like always some weird little nugget that stood out to us, right? So it's so hard. But what else? That one was fucking funny because we were all like, you know what? We've all considered like some weird Craigslist job at one point in our lives.
About like a fucking dojo side hustle. Yeah. Fuck me. I would say that I really liked, like favorites wise, I loved all of our experts. I think Jodie was amazing. But I'd have to say storytelling wise, I think Raina's episode was my favorite because she told the story so well.
And she had receipts. She had fucking receipts. She came with receipts. I know it's so hard to pick.
I know, because we've had some really like
I know. It's been so good.
but even like with Taylor's episode and the fucking text where she's like, when you don't
By
have
the way, congratulations. I know you're pushing out a baby.
BT dub. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, what is even happening on the planet?
I don't know. I don't think anyone knows, but like, yeah, okay. I like that you actually categorize it as storytelling. I actually think Raina might have been my favorite because it was so captivating.
It was so captivating, but like, you know, like just you could see the way she had told the story. Like you could see the flakes from the face falling in the fucking keyboard. Like I was just like, I can't. I
know.
I know. I felt like I was there in the.
I think she was a good storyteller. So I agree with you on that. Yeah.
Okay. Next question. What do you think? Because both of us, we had a number of experts come on the podcast to talk to us about burnout, and then we burnt out.
Oh my God, I know. We were like, not gonna happen to us. We're so amazing.
We're
the modern woman. We can do anything and everything.
We can do all the things. Fuck everybody.
Burnout doesn't exist for Gina and Nicola.
Slept for like 2 weeks.
I like had an emotional breakdown for like the past 2 months. It was so bad. And I think burnout was part of it. Like, I think I was just so friggin' tired and spread thin. Yeah.
I think what I've learned about burnout though, and I saw a quote about it the other day, and it made me really hyper aware because now we've been doing this podcast, right? And I'm like, fuck, okay, this has made me super hyper aware. And I think I'll share the quote as well. But it was something along the lines of your weekend should be used for doing things you enjoy, not for rest and rehabilitation from the week you've just had.
Okay. And so
you shouldn't be so tired and miserable from the work that you've done in the week that you just don't even enjoy your weekend because you're so
okay. I get it. Yeah. Yeah. But also if the things you enjoy are rest and relaxation, do it.
You know, I love it. Rest and relaxation. Oh yeah. Okay. So I didn't love the burnout. I felt the burnout.
Me too.
I felt miserable from the burnout as well. I was just like,
yes. Yeah, you slept for like a really long time that whole time.
Yeah, I did like, I think I slept for what, like 4 days straight?
I know you slept for like over the weekend, like straight through.
Yeah, I was just a freak.
Okay, so what is our next question?
Our next question is,
yes.
All right. We're gonna circle back to some of the statistics, but
yeah, I would like to.
Yeah, I've got some fun statistics for us. However, no, we're coming back to the statistics. First, we're going to go to the question that we have.
Yes, I heard.
So we have a lovely guy called Matt who listens to our podcast regularly.
Matt, we love you.
Thank you, Matt.
Do we know Matt in any capacity?
I do actually know Matt.
Okay, I had a feeling.
Yeah, Matt's a delight.
Okay, anyway, love Matt.
Love Matt. And his question, which then sparked a roundtable discussion. And I said, no. I think we are on the same page, you and I. Everybody at the dinner table needed to wait for this episode to hear the answer.
Okay, what's the question?
The question is, what do we think is the demographic of the most toxic person in a workplace?
This is a great question. All right, I'm gonna let you go first. What do you think?
I don't think it is a demographic. I don't think it's a guy or a girl. I don't think it's an age group. I think, like you said earlier, I think it's someone that lacks empathy and is completely oblivious to people's emotions, essentially. And I think that they hit all those notes of like narcissism, the acts of micromanagement. So it's like lack of self-confidence internally. I think that's the person that is going to make your workplace a toxic shit show.
So I think we even said this in a previous episode, and don't ask me which one it is because we all know I'm not organized. But I think you and I even said, even way before this question was asked to us, that we said we don't think it's like a male or a female of this age. We think it's a set of traits.
Yes, it's 100%
Yeah.
set of traits that you possess, and any person can possess those traits.
Yes, and it right. You could be a newcomer. It doesn't even mean that you have to be in
You
a
know,
position.
you look at the place we came from. That's a
Mhm.
young woman in her early 30s
Mhm.
portraying these traits.
And the two big people there, the CEO and the COO, were both very young. And I
Yeah,
think one of the things you missed is probably lack of
experience.
not experience. Yeah. Lack of experience. I think that's a big one, because then I think that leads right into like the self-confidence thing that you were
And the
talking about.
micromanagement and the lack of ability
Right.
to
It just like all
delegate.
leads into one another.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
And I think feeling threatened also has a thing, like has a like is part of that. It's like if they are not confident in their experience, they're gonna feel threatened much easier over like the smallest things. And then it's like a snowball effect.
oh, for sure. Oh, 100% for sure.
So wait, what did the dinner table round table come up with?
Oh,
Did they
they
have,
were,
was it everywhere? The different
yeah, it was kind of
opinions?
everywhere, where, you know, some of the table was like, it's older women that are more toxic. I'm like, is that the experience that you've had though? And that's what you're
Right.
associating it with?
Yeah.
And then for a lot of them, it's older men, because you've got that misogyny, and, you know, you've got that kind of patriarchy. And I was like,
Yeah.
is that the experience that you've experienced though, right? Because it's just been so across the board for all of the episodes, that I think it's a set of traits as well.
I do
think
too.
it's not a singular demographic, it's absolutely a set of traits that you possess.
I agree. And we have said that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's also the yeah. No, I think that's exactly what it is. I was gonna say, like, it also is like doing things in a certain way that like just not being teachable, like stopping, like just like the ability to not learn a different or new way.
I think it was Deb's, like Deb's from episode, I think 6.
It was early on when
Yeah,
we were
yeah,
still
where
like
she
happy when
spoke
10 people listened.
where she spoke about growth mindset. And I think
Mhm.
that's the big one, right? Is if you stop having that growth mindset, or you lack the ability to kind of push yourself a bit further, that's for sure one of the nails in the coffin.
Yeah, because I think when you're so it's so funny because like if you growth is such a weird concept, right? Because like you always want to do a little bit better than the year before or like the day before or whatever. But if you grow too fast, that's not good. If you grow too slow, that's not good. It's like a delicate balance. Like you have to just like, yeah. So it's just like what just do a little bit better than the day before
Okay.
and see what happens. Like don't like these companies that are like, oh, we're in an aggressive growth stage. It's like, that's probably not smart. Cause like, look at what happened to like WeWork. There was this organic place in New York that was really taking off, and it was like millions of different locations all at once, out of business, like bankrupt. Like there's so many big companies that have tried to grow too far, too fast. And it ends up like, it's a house of cards. It just like collapses at some point. So
Oh,
you
for
have to strike that delicate balance. And yeah, it's hard, but it's doable.
I agree.
Yeah.
Agree. All right, let's look at some of these statistics, which I'm
I'm
super
excited to hear these.
Okay.
Let's hear them.
Are you ready? Okay, so I want to point out that before we went into this, yeah, okay, marketing statistics, sure, got those in my pocket. Let's
Mhm.
go. However, I've never done a podcast before. I don't know what statistics you look for in a podcast. I don't know.
It was
This
like the blind leading the blind in some ways.
I know. So this was a first for me. And I thought, like, I assumed that kind of the download rate was like really low, because it's smaller numbers than what you would see on engagement rate or reach or all of these other statistics that I'm really comfortable and confident in, right? And
Mhm.
I just thought we were like sucking for the longest time. I was like, oh, yay, 3 people downloaded, yay. But in fact, we've done okay for ourselves.
All right.
We are in the top 10 podcasts, top 10%. of podcasts worldwide.
But what is the criteria to be there?
The criteria is a certain number of downloads that you get per episode in the first 7 days.
Okay.
And we've hit that target consistently since about month 2.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
All right. We have grown our LinkedIn organically to over 500 followers, which think
is like mind blowing.
I think that's pretty fucking cool. Thank you.
No, that's amazing.
You know, great. It's not 10,000, whatever. But I feel like that's huge.
And we didn't even do that much. Like, we didn't even attempt to grow LinkedIn. We didn't put any additional effort into it. I think it just goes to show that, like, this is a topic that it's like a hot button topic in a lot of ways. So, all right, what else you got?
Based on our stats over the first 7 days. So the first 7 days are the most important ones, is to track in comparison to others. All right.
Okay.
According to our stats with the most 7 days, our most popular episode was,
I feel like it was number 2.
It was Jodie's episode.
Dr. Jodie? Whoa.
Now
that's crazy. So now, you know what? Now we need you to get to be a little bit more vulnerable.
Ugh, yuck. I don't have an emotion. All right.
Lies.
Okay, what I do get really excited about, all right, is our countries and locations of downloads. Okay. 67% of all of our listeners come from the United States.
Okay.
7% from New Zealand, 6% from Canada, 3% from the UK, 3% from Australia, and then next on the list, so let's call it our top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, our top 6. The next one down, South Africa.
Oh, yeah.
However, when we look at cities, the first 2 cities on the list are both New Zealand cities.
Yeah, Nicola.
Yeah. So Auckland, Wellington, New York. Then we have Chicago, Illinois, Los Angeles, California, Sydney, New South Wales. Go Sydney. Greensboro, North Carolina. Denver,
I don't know who's there.
Denver, Colorado, Houston, Texas, and then San Jose, California is our kind of top 10.
That's crazy.
How bizarre a world is that? We also have some cool people over in Asia and Europe and South America, but they don't make it kind of to the top 10, but they're still there. Yeah. We love everybody.
Yes, of course we do.
Everybody. Okay. Then, now this is interesting. 62% of our listeners listen on Apple. 13% of them listen on Spotify. Hey, all you Apple and Spotify listeners. Our Apple listeners, because they give really good stats, we've had over 11,000 plays on Apple.
That's wild.
With over 1,000 hours listened to. So
I feel like this is a good thing because, I mean, it's just cool, but also your voice can't be that annoying, Nicola, if people are listening to us for like 1,000, thousands of hours.
According to Apple's statistics, our most popular episodes were episode number 1 and episode 12, which was Mean Girls at Work with Dr. Amber.
Oh my God, I love Dr. Amber. See, like, it's so hard to say what our fit, like, there was something so awesome in each episode. Like, I really, truly mean that. It's like,
all right, in total, do you want to know how much money we've made?
Wait, can I guess?
Yeah, please do. Please guess.
Okay. So right now we're only making like 1 cent per, like, isn't that what it is? 1 cent per, like, ad that is like
1.4 cents.
Oh, I'm sorry, 1.4 cents for every ad that is listened to. And like the ads have their own weird algorithm, like they're not in every single episode. Like I don't understand it. Maybe you do, Nicola. I don't think you do. I think the most we made at one given time was like $9.
Oh my God, it was like Christmas payday. I was like, yeah.
I was like, what? So right now we're not making anything on this podcast, but with those 1.4 cents, like it goes right back into hosting or whatever. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
don't see any of it.
So since March,
Right. And we only became eligible since March. I want to say we made like $40.
we have made exactly $40.
Have we? Did I guess it?
$40, 22 cents.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Wow.
We're
Over the past like 6 months.
we're living our best lives. All right.
We sure are.
Okay, some more statistics. So we have maintained staying in the top 200 podcasts in America for the last couple of months.
That's awesome.
This week we're 144. It fluctuates quite a bit, like we go quite high and then we drop quite down, but it's mainly around rankings and it's mainly around people that give reviews. So, like follow, share, review and stuff. That would be nice.
So wait, my most recent favorite review, I just was like, somebody was like, we're awesome. This is awesome. I love you guys.
I love this episode. Like, I love this show.
And then they're like, stop interrupting. And I was like, I'm sorry, what now? I'm like, but how would we be ourselves if we weren't like constantly talking over each other? Like, this is who we are. If you don't like it, go away. Stop being so mean.
Thank you very much for your rating and your commentary. We really appreciate it. Please give more.
It's like, so it's actually a really cute rating. It says, I love this podcast because they've been through what many of us have, and it's totally relatable. My only criticism, you lost me at criticism, whoever you are. Let your guest speak without a lot of interruption. Otherwise, excellent. Ma'am, do you know us?
So right now, as of this week, we're in the top 100 in Canada. So we're number 63 in Canada at the moment.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. Number 13 in Latvia.
That Latvian podcast chart.
Woo! Number 14 in the Bahamas.
Okay, Bahamas, show up.
Yes, Bahamas. Top 100 in Kenya.
Okay,
African
maybe
nation represent.
Yeah.
We're 118 in Ghana. So if we're taking Ghana and Kenya as just Africa in general, glad that we're coming to the party there.
Mm-hmm.
We're number 131 in Oman. We're not doing so great in Thailand though. 221. Sawadika, sabaidi mai, sabaidi. Come on, Thailand.
I don't know what she said, but it sounded good. So go with it. All right. What else?
All right. What else is on our statistics list? Okay, so Google Play. A lot of people don't use Google Play, but I
don't think who's using. It's not like 2010. I feel like Google Play was like a thing in like 2010.
However, on Google Play, Raina's episode racked up 3,200 minutes of playtime.
Were we looking extra bad or extra good that? No, I mean, granted, her story was really compelling.
It was so well told. All right. Now what I'm really curious for us to get into, because now we've circled all the way through this whole season. I still can't believe we've done an entire season. Like, this actually fucking blows my mind. Like,
agreed. Like, we have 29 episodes.
What do you think was our least favorite episode? Just side note.
Like, based on statistics or just our own?
Well, okay. I would say go with what your gut feel is, and I'll tell you what the statistics for that are.
Unfortunately, I think it was my friend Joelle and her nightlife.
I think we were still starting out though, so I feel like
we were,
and we were still kind of learning. We were still kind of feeling our way through the darkness.
Yes. That's what she said.
Yeah, pretty much. No, our most unpopular episode was our consultant episode.
Yeah, well, that's why we abandoned it. Because nobody gave a shit.
No one listened.
That's okay. I mean, listen, our first year was like, we're going to try it out and see what happens. It wasn't like nothing was guaranteed. We were just like, let's see what happens. So we tried it. Like, don't try to, it's kind of like, let's not try to do too many things because we're only good at a few things. Like, so yeah, we heard our audience loud and clear. Nobody cared.
Yeah, we got you, booze. Yeah. We got yous. Yeah, we got you all. Now, okay.
I think I blocked that out of my memory because it was so painful.
And it was really difficult to edit as well. Like, it was the hardest thing I've ever edited.
Oh my God. Okay. So we're
okay.
not going to do that to ourselves
Okay.
anymore.
But what we are going to do, though, do you remember in Cardzy B's episode, at the end of Cardzy B's episode, she gave us card readings. Do you remember that?
She did. Oh my God. And we were like, no, wait. So actually, I think hers came true. I think they did for both of us.
Do you need a refresher?
So I remember yours, I think, better than I remember my own.
Okay.
Because I was like so invested in your love life, because you asked some questions about your personal like love life, because it was a little tumultuous at that point. And I
it was
believe
super miserable, and I was just like, oh.
Around, what did she say? Around April, May?
No, she was like in like 4 weeks.
You're gonna meet, like, something's gonna happen.
And they're just gonna go, like, she was like, they're just gonna come straight for you. Like, you're not even going to, they're not
There's
gonna
like none of that extra noise around it. Yeah.
Yeah, she's just like coming in hot.
Right. So what happened with that?
So I've now got a really nice boyfriend.
So I'm asking that question like I don't know the answer. I knew the answer. I just wanted Nicola to say it.
I've got a really nice boyfriend. He's so
He
nice.
seems really nice. Yeah.
So nice.
And everyone, and like your kids get along and everything.
Yes.
That's awesome. So do you think that it came true?
You know what? I'm kind of on the fence as whether or not it's like true or not true or whatever. But I'm gonna say in this instance it was pretty bloody close.
It was close. And I also feel like sometimes maybe like it's maybe not even that it's come true. It's just like maybe we need to hear it from like an objective person to have our mind and our heart open to it. And that's what happens. It's like it's the power of suggestion almost. It's like she suggested, and so in the back of our mind, maybe we are looking for it, or we're just like, oh, well, something's going to happen. And we're like, our energy's different, or I don't know. But I do think she was kind of on with you.
I know. So I'm gonna play the clip.
Yeah. Okay. So do you guys want individually? Like what are you? I'm gonna go for individually. Okay. Who would like to go first?
Gina can go first. I'm super curious. Are you taking notes? Oh, we recorded the whole conversation. Are you taking notes, Gina?
Okay. So is there anything specific that you want to focus on?
I think my company, because, and I'll tell you why, you probably already heard, like, we were doing really well before COVID, and then COVID hit and we kind of got like F'd in the A in every possible way. So we're just kind of starting to
regroup.
Kind of get back on track, but not in the same way as 2019 when we were like literally printing money. So I kind of would like to know, like, when are we going to be back at a place where I'm not always concerned about what's in our business banking account?
Yeah. No, totally.
And also maybe outside, can you tell me if my partner's actually going to get his full divorce?
Yes. Let's see what comes through. Let's see what's happening. So anything in the cards that you need to know. At the base, I always look at what comes up with that first. I feel like in terms of your business and asking when is it going to be in like a better flow state, 9 of Pentacles is the card of wealth and like completion of cycles. So I even feel for you, like big things coming in September doesn't mean that it's going to be hell until September.
Does that sound right? Like, how's September looking?
So it's hard to say because we're just in July, but I think I think she's right, because she goes on to say about how like in May, June, I think like things kind of start to settle, and they have for me.
Okay.
They have. Yeah.
But like that feels like it is a big like correction point or a turnaround point. So Virgo season, like August to September looks really big. I also feel like, but you're going to see signs of this beforehand. That could be that there's some sort of payout. I don't know if that's like a bonus, like a chunk of like, there's tangible things coming for you in September. Okay. But I feel like, you're going to get, important news even in May. So you have,
did you get important news in May?
I didn't get important news in May. I got important news probably in June.
April, May for like the news, the like aha moments. But I feel like in terms of like tangible, you noticing a big like increase in your bank account, September. But all of the things that start around that April, May point and like the news that you receive and like the information that you get is going to lead to that success in September. I feel like in terms of like the personal stuff, your current so the situation with your partner, like this is nothing that it doesn't even feel like that he's not doing. I feel like he's being very like honest in terms of.
How do you feel about that?
So I think he was being honest to the best of his ability at that time. I think he was probably lying to himself and then lying to me, or not really being not really being truthful with himself about the situation. And therefore, he couldn't be truthful to me, but he wasn't lying. So she's right. He wasn't. I just think he needed, it's like you have to go through things in your own time. And it's like, he needed to get to a point where he could really see, what might have been obvious to everyone else. But, when you're in something, it's hard to kind of have that. So I think she was right with that.
Yeah.
All right, Nicola,
Yes.
your turn.
I need a refresh on my love life. Can we just refresh all of that?
Yes. All
Is
right.
it like dead in the water
She
this
needs a
year?
refreshing release.
An energetic release.
An energetic, refreshing release.
Okay, like I learned that once, guys. Now I know. So we're looking at Nicola's love life. Let's take a look.
Please. This is gonna be, if you just pick up like death, I understand. It makes sense.
I hate you.
That's how mine has felt as well. No, this is actually, okay, so you have Four of Wands. Four of Wands is the Carrie Bradshaw inspired card in my deck because it's ruled by Venus and Aries. And it's like, it's kind of like when I think of the opening scene of Sex and the City, where it's like stepping into your dream life. So in terms of love, the next Aries season, so 4 weeks, which actually does.
You want to know something really trippy?
Didn't you meet him 4 weeks after this?
Yes. And also he's an Aries.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
As I think even take us into Aries, which is, I love when the timing's perfect like that. So 4 weeks from now, Four of Wands, also the start of Aries, Sun and Aries. So Venus and Aries. Let's take a look more specifically. Okay. So did you have like a breakup that was like challenging over the past year? Was this like a sticky one?
Yes.
It continues to be sticky.
Yeah. Okay. This makes sense.
Person
I
is
feel like
dead to me.
Oh, anyway, okay. So what are we going to do for season 2, Gina? Like, what's going to happen?
I don't know. What do you think should happen?
Well, I think a couple of things.
Let's hear it.
Okay. My first suggestion, we've got a couple of interviews lined up already for season 2.
Mhm.
We've already recorded them. They're good to go. Like, let's just kind of crack into it, right? We've got them in the barrel. I think for season 2, we should dive in a little bit to well-known toxic workplaces and unpick what information we can find out about them, like WeWork, right?
Oh my God, I know.
Or Patreon,
Your favorite.
my personal fave.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I actually think it's a great idea. I would love to hear what our audience thinks about it. And like, if we can get people who used to work at these places, we'll attempt to. We can't guarantee anything. We'll reach out to people, but
Like, what an unbelievable experience. Like, what an environment to work in. So I'd be curious to, I think, still getting in our interviewers, because we've got a couple of really interesting ones. Yeah, I think that. And I think something else that we should do is, I think we should maybe talk on some stuff that's like a little bit more topical, right? Is maybe spend some time unpicking our personal favorite, quiet quitting. Spend an entire episode on quiet quitting, quiet hiring, quiet firing.
what quiet quitting is just fucking
Like slacking off.
It's not even that. It's just like, create a boundary. Be like, okay, I don't have no problem doing that work. Am I getting compensated for it? Like, say what you want. Don't.
Well, then let's empower people to say what they want.
Yes, I know. Okay, I love this. And I love the idea of like getting into like Patreon and WeWork and even like what's going I don't know what's going on with Twitter. I would have to like dig deep into Twitter, but um I know there's a lot of nonsense going on there and
I feel like
like
it would take a little bit of research, but I think it could be really interesting and
no, it
fascinating.
will take a little bit of research, but we can like come up with a list and like you'll do one episode, I'll do the, like we can like swap episodes. That way it's not just one person researching the whole thing. Yeah, I think that's a good idea actually.
Okay. Well, that's okay, listeners. That's what
That's
season
sorted.
3 to me.
Yes, that's season 2. We just came up with it right now.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
All right. So we are going to be on a break for a couple of weeks. It's not a huge amount of time, but hashtag burnout life. What I've got
also hashtag we have to now prepare for season 2. So thanks.
Yeah. now we have work to do.
God damn it, Nicola.
But what I do have loaded in the barrel to keep people entertained so that they don't miss my annoying voice during the break.
And our multiple interruptions. What do you
And
have?
our multiple interruptions is I've got some stuff that's never gone to air.
I love it.
Yeah, it's just like you and me bantering off, but it's just stuff that's never gone to air. And I thought, oh, that'll be nice for like the interim, right?
Yeah.
So let me tell you the dates so that people know when to come back to us.
I know. Don't leave us. Come back.
Yeah, don't leave. Don't leave. All right. So we will go live this week on the 5th of July for our reflection episode, which is this one that we're doing right now. Great.
Perfect.
We'll take a 4-week break where we'll have these like little mini episodes running just to keep everybody entertained. And then we are back on the 9th of August.
All right. So we're not even going to be gone that long.
No, we just need sleep and downtime and not having to do this.
Burn ourselves out. Yeah.
Burn ourselves out. So just a nice little summer break.
Well, I want to thank everyone who has liked, shared, wrote a review. Anyone who's ever listened to any of our episodes, thank you.
I know. How cool is it that people listen to this? I just love it.
I know. It's pretty mind-blowing. But so yeah, I just want to thank everybody. It's been like I said when we first opened the episode, and I know this episode's probably not the most dynamic, but I think everyone needs to remember, like, we've never done this before. So this was just totally like trial and error. Like we figured we'll do 25 episodes or whatever, and then we'll see what happens. And I mean, it's been way more positive than you and I both ever thought it would be. So I just want to say thanks to everyone. And I'm kind of excited to get back into season 2 because I felt very like, since we haven't been recording recently, like I just feel like I haven't been as like attached to about it. So I think it's going to be good. It's going to be good for us.
Yeah. And I'm curious to see our new people that we interview.
That we have set up, and then we'll be peppering.
Do you want a little teaser? Do you want a little teaser?
Sure.
So we've got recruitment in the tech industry. We have got what I can only describe as one of the funnest people we've interviewed, Brian with the Insurgents.
Oh yeah. With all of his different shirts.
No, that was the other Brian. That was T-shirt Brian.
Oh, T-shirt Brian. Oh my God. Yeah, Brian with the Insurgents was very funny.
Yeah. We had the lady with 4 million jobs. Do you remember that one?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Where she had like, what was it, like 40 something?
Her first line out of the box was like, I've had 46 jobs in the past 30 years. And we're like, what?
We've got Amy who talks to us about toxic positivity, which is pretty cool. And then we had Stu, who was our most recent recordee, talking about leadership, which I'm pretty bloody excited about.
And now, so we'll be doing some more interviews, but also sprinkling in some of the research episodes.
Yeah, I think the research episodes is going to is our next kind of step, right? That's our evolution.
And we'll see what happens. We'll see what you guys like more. And if you have any comments, thoughts, reactions, just reach out to us.
Yeah, we really appreciate everybody's comments. Yeah, we've had, I just get so excited when someone comments. So if you could comment,
Like, subscribe, share, follow, all those
come
good
join
things.
us on LinkedIn, come join us on Instagram.
Wherever.
Yeah, find
We'd
us
be
in
happy to
all-
have you.
and we'll see you in season
Couple
2.
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weeks.
Thank you for joining us today. If you would like to share your story, we would love to hear from you.
Also, leaving a review helps us create more content because it shows us there's an interest in this topic.
For those of our listeners who do better with reading, we have closed caption available on YouTube.
See you next week, same time and same place.